That's okay. You can go back if you want to, Jason. It's fine. If you want to recast your problem, we've got like a good 15 minutes, and there's going to be partially discussion. So feel free. This is, like I said,
Thinking about it.
Yeah.
Thinking about
Okay.
it.
Totally up to you. Okay, so at any point when you're kind of filled in a few of your methods that you'd like to kind of inform your problem statement, go ahead and start kind of jog down to someone else's space, like either to Lee's or to Marguerite's, maybe even
Don't go to mine.
or Jason's. Yeah.
Don't go to mine. I'm changing it.
Or Tony's. We also have below the fold, we got Helmar, and we also have.
Yeah, I don't mind.
Yep. So you can basically like agree what they're after and see if you've got some suggestions on where they can go to get more information. And again, if there's any products or services, as Haley's kind of graciously done in the gold section, that would help them with their problem statement, you could put that in there as well.
Are we already supposed to have the both of the boxes filled out, or just the little metal stack?
I'm sorry, in what context were you pointing out?
Like the gray, like the tan boxes. Like we're just supposed to fill these out, right? We're still not at product services to check out yet.
No, you don't need to. I mean, you can skip over to product services if you want to. If you've exhausted like those particular tan boxes in terms of thought of where you can go for more information, but you are aware of a product or service, then you can put it into a gold box if you'd like.
Gotcha.
Lee, I have a question about yours, because you have kind of these question statements up there. Are you looking for responses to that, or like, yeah?
Yes, I'm looking for responses. Many times what I will do to start off is I'll try to ask the best questions I can, or I'll see different ways of framing questions and different sources. So
cool.
Yeah, that's one way I approach a problem.
I like it. Okay, I saw you doing it. I was like kind of like peeking down.
Mardea, are you doing all right with your digital ethnography, or are you thinking it through?
I'm just stuck, so I'm thinking through too. So.
Okay, then take your time. We're good.
I saw some of the stuff that people are putting. It's not digital, so it doesn't have to be digital. It could be, you just put other stuff in there too.
Correct. Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's the point. It doesn't have to necessarily be where you have to transfer it online. It can be where, if you're really talking about engaging people face to face, then sure, you could put that in there as well. Especially if you're trying to figure out a problem for farmers markets, and you really do need to talk to the market folks that are doing the market, or even the people that are holding it.
Sure.
Yeah. You don't have to say email like this person, but you can just go. Somebody literally left the room. They were done with this. It's like, all right, I'm done with it. Fine.
It's a new feature on Zoom. Every time you leave, it's just amazing. Foley team is together. They have to outsource multiple Foley squads to get this to work.
AOL was doing this 15 years ago.
I would almost assume that if somebody's really angry, they have a slam door. Like if they're really disgusted with this.
Oh yeah, AI can pick up the sentiment and make sure that it does the or the classic hanging up the phone.
That, and then the worst one can be where there's a slam and there's like a muffled scream on the other side.
Then we're getting into precog status.
That's true.
I mean? That's not good.
Yes. Or if they're very happy, they just sing as they close the door.
Let's see.
Oh, Jesus.
Can we?
All right. I rebuilt mine. Feel
Cool.
free to have at it.
So
sorry.
That's okay. While other people are kind of working on theirs, if anyone's done, they can go ahead and make a presentation not only on their problem statement or how you can start all the way from the left if you'd like. And we can get into a bit around how people kind of went about their original thought about what they were going to solve for and how it kind of organically evolved through this process while the people are kind of getting theirs together. So is there anyone that would like to kind of get on the soapbox and go through that?
I can talk about my problem real quick.
Right.
And by the way, this is a real problem. So if anyone has a novel solution, I actually will use it, just to let you know. All right, so starting on the left, I talked about the need to team within the enterprise, develop influencing skills for high value projects, need to innovate faster, infusing agile into design. Right now, there seems to be a separation. So designing across the seams, I think, is quite important. Design ops is something we want to accelerate and take beyond a buzzword to an actual activated area within design. And I also talk about the need to create distributed design education internally. How can I educate the enterprise outside of designers? How can I make it approachable? How can I make it bioavailable and useful? How can I design in such a way that it's interesting, gets their attention, and will motivate them to act? So those are some of the big challenges that I'm thinking through. And out of all of those, the one that I chose for today is developing design ops metrics. So I'm trying to get as smart as I can on design ops, and I'm not where I need to be as far as understanding what are the metrics for deciding on what projects we should be doing, what is the order we should be doing them, what should we be measuring, what is the true definition of done in design, and how can we ensure we're paying attention to the right things to accelerate growth and transformation. Yep, I can pause there for a second if anyone has any questions. Okay. And then for the who, that's my local design team. We have, within the company I work with, we have around 4,000 to 5,000 designers. So my design team is a subset of that. And given the fact that our company has so many designers, each group has its own unique culture and experience and specialty craft, et cetera. So I'm talking about my own local design team. There are other areas within IBM that are socially active outside of the company. CIO design is very active, but I'm trying to bring that craft and maybe even improve or accelerate, and certainly customize design ops for my area. And I'm looking to do that for the full stack of job roles within my domain space. The what is, of course, design ops metrics. The what is also established design ops roadmap for project engineering and prioritization. How do we design the right projects? How do we prioritize and develop a roadmap? And how do we measure it? We want to do that within Q1, that is the win, Q1, where we want to do that within transformation. So design transformation is another kind of fun buzzword that I would play around with. And why? We need to be operationally effective with design projects. Just being innovative isn't enough. Just being creative isn't enough. We need to accelerate the design doing and be really methodical and deliberate in the projects that we execute on. Okay, which leads me to the problem statement. Business operations is a discipline within the enterprise that needs to transition broadly into design. As I said, my local team needs to develop KPIs, key performance indicators, and visioning statements within the first quarter. We need to act quickly to improve transformation effectiveness. And some of the things that I considered as far as getting more and more informed was who's doing this well? And how have we failed or come up short? What does that look like as far as the things that we've done, so I can have appreciation of difficulties within culture and other technical boundaries that may make it difficult or prevent us from being effective. What secondary research exists, so I don't have to recreate something from scratch. Maybe someone has failed faster than I could possibly fail. what books and podcasts exist, what forums exist. Can I ask a question? Can I call upon the wisdom of teams and groups and teams of teams to help me out in this problem? And then, of course, going into the wild, can I conduct a ride along with an expert? And what type of cheap or guerrilla experiment can I run? Those are some of the things that came to mind.
Just to interrupt really fast, what's really interesting about this is that it seems like this part needs 3 pieces. First is the questions that you're asking yourself. The seconds are based on those questions where you could go for more information, like potentially there are some answers to the questions that you could have in like the second section. And the third could be, is there something that exists that can basically either shortcut or inform the first 2 based on the gold section there, depending on what's already existing in the wild that you can take inspiration from or get more information from. How does that sound to you, Lee?
Sounds great. And then 2 things, which I'll play out from you. It's your idea, but I'm playing with it, is the minimum effective dose of research and or lean research. How can we accelerate the knowing process? I think, and I think a lot of times if you just take a few moments to think through what are some options here, you probably can speed up the understanding and the knowing process quite a lot.
So maybe lean into lean research a little bit more so than ethnography. Like ethnography may be a little bit too involved. It was meant to be broad when I classified it as a category, but maybe that's diving into that a bit to see if there's a better connection than to this thing.
Yeah.
Okay. For time check for everyone, it's 3 minutes to the top of the hour. Haley, I know you have other commitments, so I don't want to keep you if you have to go. If there's other people that are on the call that need to leave to attend something at 11 o'clock, please take this time to exit out. I will do one other thing that I'll show really fast on my screen, which is the next steps. That's something that, hey, we're out of time. See, I have a time timer. I'm actually using it.
Oh man, that triggered me.
Sorry. So there's a couple of things I'm going to be doing tomorrow that I'll record. One is a market engagement hypothesis, like basically taking the key or assumption or you have and engaging the market with it, or in this case, your team or internally with the stakeholders that you're kind of going into. Basically, you're expressing it in terms of like a statement that if something happens, then with this person, then it'll go in this direction, which eventually feeds into opportunity mapping. So a lot of what you would do in terms of informing the problem statement that you had would go into this, where you kind of go and you kind of take all the information that you gather, put it into some sort of digital canvas or an area, and see where things kind of connect, or in terms of like depth of where things are, but also how things inform one another. And depending on what method you choose, whether it's service design blueprinting, jobs to be done, experience mapping, you'll start to see some gaps or some opportunities that correspond to your problem statement. And then you can pinpoint 8 to 10 of those to do XYZ hypothesis, which is also going to be a future one as well. That sets the basis up to do prototypes, or actually small experiments to see if there is opportunity or real value in going in a particular direction without making any kind of commitment on the business side, on the design side, or the dev side. So that's where this is eventually all heading. But I wanted to go through this first session to kind of go into the exploration of generating ideas and where they can go. This is something that would carry forward, like I had said, into other things, but I'll do a follow-up email with everyone to kind of, see how it goes. If you do have any feedback, since we're out of time, feel free to email me direct. I think you can connect with me on LinkedIn if you have other ideas on how to make this simpler or to improve upon this. But this is what I would kind of be moving forward with, as well as with the additional suggestions by Lee and other folks on how to improve it. But that's it. Feel free to hang out in the mural and continue to iterate on it if you have time. But I am going to end the call. If anyone has any last comments or any kind of suggestions, feel free to speak up now before we take off.
This is great.
Big thanks.
Thanks for initiating it, Robert. This
Yeah.
is always these are always fun.
Okay.
And informative.
Cool. I hope so. So everyone, thanks for your time, and enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time, hopefully. Okay. Bye on YouTube for those who are watching. Bye everyone here in Zoom that's hanging out and checking us out. All right.
Bye.
Bye everybody.